Welcome, everybody, to another show that Jessica Lee and Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, me, produces. We co-produce, we co-host by request, jessicaleejazz.com. Please go to that site, tip the cats during these tough times to help defray any costs for our musician friends. We appreciate that. Thanks for watching our shows. We have another great by request today. I'm going to kick it off to Jess to tell us what we're going to do first.
Hey, Al, how are you?
I'm doing well. 1 second.
So every time when we do this by request show, that green tea has to make an appearance. That's green tea. And Al, what kind of green tea are you drinking this particular
I'm glad
day?
I know you're smart and asked the right question. This is actually, you've been to Tupelo Honey Teas with me. This is my special mix by Danielle, the owner, called Talking Machine Green Tea. 8 ingredients I put together. She goes, I don't know if it'll taste good. I said, try it. She took it and she goes, you're just a master tea maker. It tasted delish. And to all of our health, sip by sip, we can go.
Hey, that's awesome. And if you can see behind me here,
yes,
this guy right here, he's like, wow. That's what he's saying about your tea.
Nice.
All right. Okay. That was the
you.
green tea moment right there. And I think what's awesome about today's show, I'm so excited about today's show because we have one of my favorite people joining us. And today's show, we have 2 songs that we're going to be showcasing by request. But really, this show today is about health, happiness, unconditional goodness, and I'm just really psyched about it. So the first by request song today, Al, is a very well-known song. And I want to just kind of talk a tiny little bit about that, and then we're going to bring our friend in to help talk about this because my special friend requested this song. This is one of a jazz singer's all-time favorites. It goes all the way back to 1939.
Yes.
When it was written. But it is still like a brand new song every time you hear it today. It's one of those timeless classic standards. And that song that was requested by my wonderful friend, Corey Smith, is Over the Rainbow. So Al.
Yes.
You think it's okay if we bring Corey on, join us for a minute?
Let's bring her on right now. I'm excited too, Jess. Can't wait.
All right, Corey, are you with us out there in TV land?
Yes, here I am. Hi, Jess. How are you?
I'm great.
So glad to be here. So glad to be able to hear you sing this amazing song.
So Corey, when you requested it, I was like, I love that song, and it gives me a reason to go to my piano studio during this coronavirus and just sit there and play and sing a version of it. And it's a lot of people's favorite song. I mean, that song actually has been requested by multiple people over time. What was special about the song for you?
Well, I think this song encapsulates and symbolizes hope and that dreams really come true. And no matter how dark things get, no matter how uncertain times are, the darkness ends and the sun comes out the next morning.
Yeah, and right now more than ever, I think we need some hope in all of its forms, musical hope. We're going to be talking with you about some culinary hope, and I'm so excited about it because one of my favorite sayings that is really true for me is life is uncertain, eat dessert first.
Yes, I'm with you.
Right? And stressed, spelled backwards, is?
Desserts. Bring it on.
Dessert. Al, what do you think?
I have to agree with both of you, and I'll talk about that when I'm allowed to, Corey. So just hold your breath on that. And I think we should go right now to listen to Over the Rainbow by Jessica Lee on piano.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me. The troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds they do fly, and birds fly over the rainbow. Why, oh then why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't
Corey has a very good taste in songs. But I actually put that song out live on Facebook, and our friend Gary Rosensteel, you remember him, Al?
Yes, I do.
Actually gave me a pretty cool message out there when I let the song fly live on Facebook Live. And he said, if you dig into the movie history, and The Wizard of Oz was the film that it was written for.
Sure.
And Judy Garland sang it, right? And
Yes.
as Dorothy. And they almost cut that song. It almost never made it into the film. And so I got this on Facebook, when I was posting it, and basically they said some of the, I guess the management team said this song is too adult. A little girl, Dorothy, wouldn't sing this song necessarily, and it takes
Right.
too long. And so there was a bunch of discussion, and they actually had to fight to keep the song in. It almost got totally cut. So we almost never heard the song, right? We may not have known it. Yeah. So it's interesting how it works.
I have one more trivia thing about this for you that's sort of interesting. We all know the Beverly Hillbillies, and Buddy Ebsen was Jed. Guess who was the Tin Man when they first filmed this? Buddy Ebsen. Well, guess what happened? The silver powder, he was allergic to it. He was on some of the original songs that they sang, not Over the Rainbow, but other songs, and he couldn't continue with the film because he was allergic. So that's how he got kicked off being the Tin Man. How
Okay,
about
wait.
that for trivia?
How about that for a segue into healthy, wonderful desserts and baked
That is-
goods?
That's why
Pizza
I
dough.
brought it up.
If you have allergies. If you have
Yes.
food allergies. Oh my goodness. So let's bring Corey back in because, we met, and after we met, I learned about Corey's passion for creating wonderful baked goods that are also healthy for you, but that taste awesome. And, Corey, if you would tell us a little bit about your company, Core Eats Mixes, Coreats, Core Eats Mixes. Tell us about really the motivation and the inspiration for your wanting to create these unbelievable mixes and baked goods before you even started it as a business. Tell us about why you did it.
Sure. So Core Eats Mixes ultimately came out of an obstacle that we were faced with that we pushed past, just like this song. The song, that we're talking about, Over the Rainbow, like the history is amazing. If you Google the history on this song, and it first came out, right around the time that, the Jewish people were coming under oppression for the Holocaust and the things that they had to overcome. My journey started about 15 years ago when my girls had some scary diagnosis. And, we ended up traveling around the country to see specialists. And one of the biggest, directions that we approached this from was food and how we fed our bodies. And at first it seemed really overwhelming because it seemed like, there was nothing we could eat. And, food is one of life's greatest joys. Like some people eat to live and others live to eat. I'm definitely in that second category. Food makes everything better all the time, anytime. So, when we discovered that there were things that we had to avoid, we were so, used to just going to the store and buying pre-made food and, going to McDonald's or eating Hot Pockets or whatever, that it just seemed like, now what, right? And then too, like I grew up in an environment where everything centered around food too. Like my mom would make these amazing spreads, and I mean, those were huge traditions, and I wanted my girls to be able to experience this stuff. So I wasn't willing to be told that we couldn't have certain things, and I wasn't willing for that joy to be taken away. So we just started thinking outside of the box. I was determined, I was stubborn, and I'm like, we are going to still have fudge. We're still going to have, baked rolls and cinnamon and pizza and, cheesecake and, all of these things. And, along the journey, I learned, how important food is and how, you're putting it into your body and your health is directly tied to it, whether you're fighting a certain condition or whether you just want to be healthier. Like it's something that we all need to take a closer look at. And so I started, becoming educated on alternative ingredients and thinking outside of the box. And I got really good at it over the years. And then, I started baking things for friends and family, and they would want recipes. So I would give them recipes. And then, I found that they still were not having success. So ultimately, I ended up making little baggies of dry ingredients, and I would put them in the freezer, and I would mark on it, add 2 eggs, add half a cup of milk, add these things. And then all of a sudden people were having success. My daughters are just pulling these out of the freezer to make waffles or pancakes or, whatnot. And so that's really how Core Eats, birthed. And the Core Eats bread mix is the foundational thing. That was the first thing that I learned how to make. With alternative ingredients. And really that stems back to my childhood. I grew up on a farm. My mom made homemade bread. We never bought bread. We would get fruits and vegetables from the gardens, from the apple orchards. We had, beef like from the farm that we would eat, and we would have homemade bread. And one of my favorite memories is so simple. It was just fresh baked bread with fresh sliced tomatoes from the garden and mayo. And so I wanted my girls to have that. And I wanted them to be able to go to school and have bread that didn't fall apart, that didn't taste gross, that didn't taste like cardboard, that wasn't dry and crumbly. So, that was the first recipe that Core Eats developed.
But just tell us a little bit for people who aren't familiar with Corey Eats Mixes about how people can find them on the internet and kind of the basic products that you have available and the various things you can make with those basics.
Yeah, so you can find us at CoreyEatsMixes.com. And we're very active on social media, on Instagram. So you can find us there. We do run a lot of promotions through Instagram. So that's and do giveaways too. So we have 7 mixes. Out of our 7 mixes, all of them are paleo. All of them are grain-free, gluten-free. They're free of preservatives, soy, refined sugars, dairy. And then 5 of the 7 are also keto, which means that they're sugar-free and or 0 glycemic. So the mixes that are sweet, like our chocolate cupcake that are sugar-free, they're sweetened with monk fruit. And it's a whole food ingredient. It's been around for thousands of years, named after the monks, because it's like 200 times sweeter than sugar, but it doesn't touch your blood sugar. And it doesn't have like a weird after flavor. So, and then there are 2 mixes that are not keto because they do have a glycemic response, and that is our brownie and our pumpkin banana mix. And those are sweetened with organic coconut sugar, which is still half the glycemic level of regular cane sugar. And it comes along with the benefit of having nutrients and vitamins, whereas you're getting empty calories out of cane sugar, and then it spikes your blood sugar. So, our very first mix is our bread mix. That's where it all started. And with our bread mix, like you can make cinnamon bread. That's a huge crowd pleaser. I almost always take it to tastings. And then you can make cheese bread, Italian bread, garlic bread. I make French toast with it, sandwiches, rolls. And then from there, we have a pancake waffle mix. And obviously you can make pancakes and waffles. You can make crepes. There's a holistic doctor in California that really promotes my mixes, and she makes wonderful recipes. And one of them is a banana coffee cake made with the pancake waffle mix, which there's so many recipes. So this is where I try to keep it super simple, because I want people who are not maybe as inclined in the kitchen to be able to just grab them and cook them and have easy. But then those people who want to get more for their money or want to be, have more options or they're more comfortable, I have my recipe blog, and you can go on there and there's a number of recipes for every single mix that we sell. So I've listed 2, the almond bread, the pancake waffle, and then we have the chocolate cupcake. That's 0 glycemic and keto. Again, you can make a number of things with that. We have a blueberry muffin, and then we have a pizza dough. Those are all the keto sugar-free ones. And then we have banana, pumpkin. Yeah.
Alan, when I first got to know Corey Eats Mixes and had a chance through Corey to taste the products, they're just wonderful. But the thing that Corey blew me away was how much passion you had for what you're doing, really inspired by wanting people to be able to enjoy what they eat and be super healthy and maintain their weight. And it was just your unconditional love for people and for your own family that really inspired your business. And so I just want to tell you, I'm a big fan. And I know that Al has had the chance now to taste a little bit, and I'm sure he and his family will be tasting more.
It's very exciting to get this feedback. It will never get old. And like you said, Jess, I just want people to have success in the kitchen and realize that they can have really great tasting food and not sacrifice their health or, make a compromise in one area to meet another area. You can have your cake and eat it too.
Well, Corey, just on that theme, I'm getting a lot of good feedback because I'm posting up my healthy dinners of fish, and I post that all the time. So they go to, I cook anything else besides fish. So I cook chicken sausage, veggies. And now you forced me to become a baker like my daughter on Saturday night. So I made the brownie mix. Next, the chocolate cupcakes will come up. So we'll go through this, and I'm sure I'll have my son buy more products. So we're going to carry on. And you made it so simple for a simple man like me. To all of you guys out there, don't be afraid to cook. It's so simple. It's easy. Follow the directions, which are perfect. They're spot on.
So Al and Corey, the second song that we're going to feature today is simply a song with the theme of unconditional love. And I feel that you have poured that unconditional love into your Corey Eats Mix products and into your business, Corey. And I think a lot of people will be healthier and happier because of your products. We just need to shine a light on them now and get them out to people. And, I'm part Slovak and part Italian. And so food is really important on both sides. My mom's family's, my dad's family, and it's been deep in our tradition, our holiday traditions, etc. And my Slovak grandma would always bake, and she wouldn't let you leave her house without giving you something that she baked. And she'd say, go with God, and she'd give you something that she baked for you to take. That was my Slovak grandma. And my Italian grandmother, food was just a huge part of our lives and memories. And when I was very little, I had the chance to know my 93-year-old great-grandmother from Italy, who came here when she was very young and settled in Pittsburgh in McKees Rocks and the Bottoms. And she would always, when people would come over, if you were an adult, she'd pour you a tiny little bit of red wine, and then she'd take that jug all the way back down to her basement and say, not too much, just a little bit. And then she'd bring you something sweet to, and something to eat, and the pastas. And in this song that we're going to feature as we leave each other today, this song is about unconditional love, and it's called Love No Hands. Unconditional, no strings attached, no hands. And Love No Hands was written, each verse has a memory of somebody who is special to me. And the verse that talks about wine and a wish for joy through time is from my great-grandmother on my Italian side. And so I give this song to the By Request World. We had put it out on an album called Rhythms of Anyway, and it was requested during the pandemic. So it gives me a chance to throw this video out there with the song Love No Hands. But Corey, I want to compliment you. And you followed your passion. You've been pouring unconditional love out through your website, your blogs. You've been helping people to figure out recipes that work for them and their families free of charge. And I just think what you're doing is fantastic. And I really am a fan. And Al, I think you wanted to say something at last about agape, which might apply.
Yes. When you told me you wrote this song, I was excited that it's one of your songs that you wrote. You told me about your great-grandmother, and you said, have you ever heard of agape? And I said, yes, I did. With a friend of mine, I was doing a show called Healthier, Happier You. She's a very strong Christian young woman that gave her life up for Christ and practices it every day. And she told me about agape about a year or so before you told me about it. And I said, it's unconditional love with no strings. And she goes, wait till you hear my song.
Love no strings, love no hands, no holding on. Love no strings, love no hands, just touch through song. A warm hello and a glass of wine. A wish for joy through time. Love no strings, love no hands, no holding on. Love no strings, love no hands, just touch through song. I flee teacher's touch. Love no strings, love no hands, no holding on. Love no strings, love no hands, just touch the song. I dream of a world like this, free to flow in bliss.
Jessica Lee, that is an amazing song that you wrote, sang, and played piano on. As usual, I'm honored to hear that. That was a trifecta.
Time out, time out. I didn't play piano on that song.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
That was Max Leak on piano.
All right, we can be
Okay.
friends now.
Yeah. Okay, do that again, Al.
All right. Jessica Lee, what a great song. It was so well sung, written, that it struck me right in the heart. And it's just a perfect song. The words and just the way you enunciate them and sing through, it's just amazing. I enjoyed the song thoroughly when it came out. I enjoyed it today. And I hope all of you appreciate the songs and the information we gave you about Core Eats. Jessica Lee, go to jessicaleejazz.com. Please tip the cats to defray any costs. And thanks for watching our show, and keep looking for our next by request. Jess, how are you going to close this out?
I just want to say thank you to Corey for coming to us, Corey's Mixes. Al, I want to thank you for helping us to put these shows on, and Dave Cable, the whole BPTV production team. We do appreciate any donations. It helps us to defray some of the production costs, but mainly just keep the song requests coming. We love to hear from you. And I just want to tell everybody that today's theme is hope and unconditional love. And so we want to thank Corey for bringing that to us as well in her own special, unique culinary way. So it was great being with everybody by request, and I look forward to the next time.